All right, hello, Professor Murphy. It's your favorite student, Mariah. This semester, I have spent a lot of time thinking about birth control, mostly because of my presentation at the United Nations conference, but also I'm doing a research project on contraception policy in my public policy class for political science. And of course, our birth control unit in this class. So basically, I know exactly how not to get pregnant and how not to get sexually transmitted diseases. This topic really sticks out to me because contraception access and information is essential to women's health and education and an ideal family and blah, 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 all of that. Poverty statuses are changed because of contraception. The world is a better place because of contraception. So far, I think I've been using this information very well. I am very interested in pursuing a career in something related to contraception access, maybe research or education or something like that. I just think it's so important. The pill documentary is actually one of the sources I cited in my public policy paper, and I probably would have talked about it at the United Nations if I had watched it beforehand. It was very, very significant to me, and I love that documentary. In my life, I've spoken about this to many, many people, basically anyone who will listen. When people make the mistake of asking me what I spoke on at the White Matters conference, I go on to a tangent. I love talking about things that I'm passionate about, and I'm extremely passionate about contraception access. I've been on birth control since I was 18, but I've also increased my vigilance, educating my friends and telling everyone where they can go get free condoms. Planned Parenthood, the Women's Success Center, the LGBT Student Services, and the UVU Health Center, just to name a few on campus and a couple off campus. I think that the United States Senate really, really absolutely should codify Griswold versus Connecticut into law. So Griswold versus Connecticut is the United States Supreme Court decision that was made in 1965 that guarantees married women the right to contraception, and then 1972, Einstein versus Baird was the same one for unmarried women. Awesome, right? Okay, but it has not been codified into law. That definitely needs to happen. And it passed the House of Representatives, so the first house, in July with 195 votes. They haven't voted on it yet because there's a bunch of elections that needed to happen, the midterms that just happened, all of that, yeah. So that's gonna be happening soon, hopefully. I hope. That way, it'll be codified into law, and it'll be very, very difficult for anybody to use any sort of legal means to restrict contraception access to people. I think that'd be great. I also think contraception access ought to be expanded through all of the states in the United States. Really ought to be pushed through all sorts of healthcare providers, you know, not just OBGYNs, but just at a primary care office and stuff like that. Like, it really does need to be just like a thing that is like the primary, just a standard. That's kind of what I meant to say. Yeah. I think what else is on my here? I have notes over here. I think contraception access, eliminating contraception deserts, which we've talked about. But we also just need to increase education to these healthcare providers about how important contraception is to eliminating all sorts of other health problems. People have sex. Let's stay safe. I want to continue to educate people and hand out condoms to the masses. Okay, now for the song little bit of your assignment. A few of the lyrics I liked were, when you hear that song they play saying you run the world, do you believe it? And I love that lyric because it's sometimes hard to remember that women are super impactful in the world. We live in a patriarchy built and run by men. Women are very behind the scenes, and it's easier to sing along with Beyonce than actually believe it. I think it'll be easier to believe that we run the world when we are equally represented in all spaces. And then I like this part from the middle, the chorus. It says, Mother Nature, fire, suit of armor, soul survivor, holy water, and then scarlet letter, technicolor, river wild, baby girl, woman, child. Okay. So these next ones I like a lot because of their nuances, of the nuances that womanhood can bring out. We can be creators if we want to. We can be full of rage like fire. We can be protectors like a suit of armor. We're all survivors. But the one thing that I thought was very interesting was how he had holy water and scarlet letter next to each other. I thought it was really telling that it was sort of pointing out the dichotomy between how women are viewed as either these on a pedestal, sort of benevolent sexism, just the idea of they're perfect, they're beautiful, they can't be touched, and also scarlet letter, the whore, the slut, that type of thing. So just that dichotomy that we live in, that we have to be one or the other. or like it's so easy to become like praised and like seen as like this perfect being, or like just super easy to be like seen as like this horrible slut. Okay. And so I think the last line that I pointed out was actually super interesting as well, because when somebody talks about how Adam was first, does that make you second best, or did he save the best for last? I thought that was super interesting, because in the chorus he points out that dichotomy, the holy water and the scarlet letter together, just kind of like these are the types of like views, like the double binds that women fall into, and then he kind of reinforces it in his own song, talking about how like women are better than men, which is interesting to me. And I think that that is, that's kind of all my thoughts. I think it's interesting. Anyways, I'm sorry this video is late. Thank you so much for an amazing class. I love you. This is half of a heart. Love you.